The Windermere Ward Trail is moving forward. Ocoee Cemetery beautification has arrived. Local businesses partner with the West Orange Habitat for Humanity. And East Winter Garden under attack again. The date is July 14th, 2022. We're going to go through these stories and more. Welcome to West Orange on the Go. My name is Austin Arthur, and this is where we do local news and comments. And when I say local news, I mean hyper-local. West Orange. This is your news. We begin in 10 seconds.
You're listening to West Orange on the Go. Brought to you by the West Orange Times and Observer. Hosted by Austin Arthur. West Orange on the Go.
The town of Windermere hosted a virtual public workshop to discuss the Windermere Ward Trail on Monday, July 11th. The Windermere Ward Trail project has been in the works for several years and focuses on developing a transportation path for walking, cycling, and golf cart travel within the town. And they have a federal appropriation of $760,000 for funding, and that is from the Safe Routes to School program. And the money will go towards the Phase 1 section of the project. And they are also waiting on some large monies from the Healthy West Orange Alliance, which has dedicated about $5 million to the project. So we will watch that closely, and that is exciting news coming out of Windermere. The Ocoee City Commission approved this year the Cemetery Beautification Project. Now, this cemetery, although the exact date of its establishment, well, it can't be verified, but the earliest record of the Ocoee Cemetery Association dates back to 1909, so that's over 100 years. Since the city started the project, several residents have reached out to express their gratitude and say that they have seen the difference, and more is coming. You know, this is a great city. Mayor Rusty Johnson, he's been involved for a long time in this community, and, you know, he's doing an excellent job, and I'm happy that he's there. We need more leaders like Mayor Rusty Johnson of Ocoee. Now, a number of local businesses have stepped up in recent months to sponsor full houses being built by the West Orange Habitat for Humanity. The 4 sponsored homes are on Center Street in the East Winter Garden community. Now, this is an example of businesses coming together to help our community. I want you to know the 3 organizations. One is Empire Finish Systems. Empire Finish Systems. Look them up on, we'll tag them in the post. Okay? So we'll give you the information. You need to know it. Empire Finish Systems. Miller Ale House here in Winter Garden. I think that everybody probably knows Miller Ale House. Right across from my office, actually. Right by the West Orange Chamber of Commerce. And Pilar's Martini and Loft. Most of you who are in West Orange also know that, right? In downtown Winter Garden. So Marilyn Hadaway, the terrific Marilyn Hadaway, said, quote, "Having these sponsorships means that our community, local businesses, and major corporations are invested and committed to our mission to provide safe, affordable housing for all. Simply put, we could not do what we do without these sponsors. Families' lives are forever changed due to the generosity and heartfelt commitment of these sponsors to bring about strength and stability through shelter." End quote. You need to support the Habitat for Humanity in West Orange and those businesses. All right, like I said, I'll link all that below. Now, there is a lot that I would love to go over in this week's paper. There's so many good stories, but, I can't do it all. I have a little bit of time. Just about 15 minutes. Typically, that's what we try to stick around, okay? Get you in and out of here. But I have a lot I want to go over in the final page. So stick around just a couple minutes here, the final page. What you got to do is you got to go to theorangeobserver.com to get all the stories, okay? Good stories this week. Really good stories every week, Also, the big red boxes, they're all around town. And by the way, my face is in this week's paper. This morning, you could pick it up and see it. It is placed in between two other people, two friends of mine, Cindy and Iggy, who I am very lucky to know. They are wonderful human beings, and they work with the West Orange Times and Observer. And it's talking about the West Orange Times and Observer is hiring a multimedia sales specialist. So if you think you want to work with the West Orange Times, I have my own criteria. You just got to be a great person. And the reason why I've come to that conclusion is because I look at everybody that works for the West Orange Times, and they're all great people. So that's clearly part of the criterion. But if you're interested, seriously, if you're interested, check it out. They are hiring for this position. So you could go to orangeobserver.com/jobs. All right, let's get moving forward here. Two more things. Okay, don't forget about the sports. Andrea Mujica, a staff writer of ours, she does the sports and a lot of other stories too. And she has a good one here. Umpiring, getting back to the basics. What constitutes a call as fair? What's the meaning of the word umpire? And where does it come from? I don't know too much about the sports, but this sounds very interesting. So you got to check it out, page 2B. Okay, so the final thing is Foundation Academy. Now, they are the sponsor for this program. We are grateful. I am grateful for that sponsorship. And I'm also grateful for the school. As you might know if you've listened to this program, my daughter goes to that school, and it's a terrific school. They serve grades pre-K through 12th grade. So it's really special because when we were looking at the private option, a lot of schools, they don't have the ability to go all the way to the 12th grade. Or some of them, that's their model and they choose not to. But my point is, isn't it nice to have a good private option that you can trust, shares your values and principles, and your child can go there from pre-K all the way to 12th grade. They have 3 beautiful campuses, but it's really one great school with wonderful people. Their slogan says it all. I want you to check it out. Foundation Academy, where character matters. All right, we're going to go into the final page here. Let me start with a note. Well, a reminder. This podcast is brought to you by the West Orange Times and Observer. However, it is a news and comment podcast. All right, so the news portion, that's just fine, easy to understand. But the comment is subjective. Those are my opinions, my analysis, my thoughts. Think of it like an editorial section of a newspaper. So I mean to say that when I make a comment, it's not on behalf of the West Orange Times and Observer. It's on behalf of me, Austin Arthur. All right, now, there's something I would like to discuss in the final page. I want to talk about an issue that is looming, that is coming. And, although it's a hyper local community we're going to be talking about here, it affects all of us because principles and values are being established by how we respond to things that happen within our hyper local communities. So I've discussed the East Winter Garden community a lot on this program. That is the historically minority community within Winter Garden that has been under-resourced for a long time. And through the CRA, there's going to be a lot of investment by the city of Winter Garden into infrastructure, into this revitalization effort, just like they did in the downtown Winter Garden area. But you see, sometimes when things seem to be going in the right direction, sometimes in life something snags, something, a bump in the road, something that poses a threat to good progress. One such threat was from OCPS. Orange County Public Schools decided that they would like to take a technical college out of that area, the East Winter Garden area on Story Road, and swap it with a couple hundred buses for a bus depot. Now, that is a mixed-use area where there are homes butted up against the commercial portion. So, they just figured, hey, here we have these filthy machines that stink, bring hyperlocal pollution everywhere they go en masse, make loud noise, cause traffic. Well, we'll just put them right there in that spot, the property we have here in East Winter Garden, next to these homes. No big deal. It's funny. They would never do that in other communities, let's say like Isleworth. Wouldn't you agree? Nope, they wouldn't even consider it. But when it comes to the predominantly black folks in Winter Garden, in East Winter Garden, well, they could use the jobs, right? Jobs they'd probably never get. So with an organization that I'm proud to be involved with, One Winter Garden, under my friend's leadership, she's the president, Jamie Hawley. Well, we rallied against OCPS, and, there was a big meeting. The people spoke and showed up. It looks like now there is a real chance that OCPS is alerted, shall we say, to the issue, and possibly this will not occur, that they'll find another spot. Now, we don't know that to be certain, but it seems like the reaction to the people was positive. There is a new wolf coming to threaten the peace and the progress in that community. This time from the private sector, but aided and abetted by the government, as usual. A MRF is coming to the backyard of East Winter Garden. Now, that is where they dump a bunch of trash, in this case, trash for recycling, so it would be like plastics, but trash nonetheless, filthy trash, and they sort it all out and, move it somewhere else. Now, that's smelly business. It's dirty. And they intend to run trucks up and down the residential streets there in East Winter Garden 24/7. Yes, 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Ironically, right behind Votech, right behind the Drew High School property there, where Orange County Public Schools was looking at putting that bus depot, and maybe still are. And this company has a record of questionable behavior. It's a public record of questionable behavior. I'm not making specific allegations. I'm just noting, I'm acknowledging that, I got a big list here of links and articles, long as my arm. Now, the MRF is just phase one. They hope to then phase into some kind of high-tech process where they break down plastics into little flakes for recycling. Now, that's a chemical process. They do it with copious amounts of water. It's a high-tech process, but, I wonder, what could go wrong with placing thousands of gallons of tainted water into our system here in Winter Garden? Right by Lake Apopka. No conversation needed, I guess. Orange County gave them a permit to do this. Once again, Orange County. More and more, I believe in home rule and the sovereignty of our cities and towns. This is a small little area we're talking about that is controlled by Orange County. It's surrounded by the city of Winter Garden. It's like an enclave. And on the one hand, we have the bus depot. On the other hand, we got zoning approved for a chemical processing plant to taint our water. The good news is the company would need to use city water. Even though they're on Orange County property, they need to use city water. And the city of Winter Garden is saying no. Just like the city said no to the bus depot next to our homes. So I want to thank the city, and I assure you I will be talking more about this issue in the coming weeks. We just want to live in a community where we can raise our children, our grandchildren, be happy, and away from the industrial noise and pollution and traffic of the city. That's what West Orange is. We're just people trying to live our lives happily, unmolested from big corporations that don't know us. OCPS, Pure Cycle. And I got an eye on you, Nicole, the West Orange Commissioner. This has been Austin Arthur, the West Orange Times and Observer. And until next week, have a happy and blessed weekend.
West Orange on the Go is brought to you by the West Orange Times and Observer. Hosted by Austin Arthur. West Orange on the Go.